In today's video, I'm going to share with you how I got started as a graphic designer and if I went to college for it. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan. If you have not been here before, thank you so much for coming. I post every Wednesday and Sunday and I talk all about graphic design. I share my graphic design tips, tools, tricks, all of the above. I even share my client experiences and I go over how I'm managing my clients and the steps I take to really give them what they love and how I really just love what I do and I'm so passionate about it and I cannot wait to share more about it with you too. So thank you so much for coming to this video. I'm super excited to really kind of walk down memory lane and share with you how I got started as a graphic designer because I feel like I haven't fully shared my story about what led me to finally running my own graphic design business and how you can also get to that point as well if you're not already. But before we dive into the little story time, we definitely need some wine for this one. So I brought my new wine upstairs, bringing it back to me just pouring it with you guys. Cheers to you all. I hope you're having a wonderful week. Oh yeah, that's really good. Let's go all the way back to 2012. Back in 2012, I graduated from high school and I was about ready to go to Nevada for college and I was super excited but really nervous and I honestly wasn't even thinking about my studies yet. I was just like more nervous about the social aspect, but I got to college and I really just was always looking back, I remember just being super fascinated with nutrition, but I didn't know if it was just because I was in this fitness phase or if I genuinely really loved it, but it's the thing that was at the top of my mind for me at the time, so I decided to actually go into school studying for nutrition. And I remember going to one of the advisors that was helping me pick my classes, and I just saw the amount of science classes, and I was like, I am probably not cut out for this. I'm not really great at science. I don't really enjoy science, so I don't know what I was thinking, but I quickly changed my degree into studying journalism, which sounds kind of crazy because I do like writing, but I definitely wouldn't want to write for a living. But I actually was able to talk with the journalism school and I kind of got a feel for the fact that it wasn't just about writing, it was more about like visual communications, which they later changed the name to visual communications. But I went to school for visual communications or journalism, and I also minored in photography. That was always something I wanted to do. I actually really envisioned myself becoming like a wedding photographer down the line. I have always loved photography and I feel like I've always kind of had a feel for it. And that was actually something I even was doing back in like high school. I loved it. And I was always doing video. And so I just felt like that would be a good path for me too. So I minored in photography and I really look back and I'm just so grateful I did because that is what taught me Adobe Photoshop. Like if I did not minor in photography, I would have to probably start from ground zero with Photoshop, but that was when I really learned the ins and outs of it. So school was going good. I actually really enjoyed what I was working on, but I still just had this idea in my head about wanting to be a nutritionist or a personal trainer or whatever. So I kind of thought about it more and I just kept going in the degree I was in, and I remember back in like junior year of college, there was an advertising club and I joined that and I was able to design the logo for the advertising club. That was the very first logo I ever designed. I'll have to find it and put it up here for you guys because it was like, I thought it was the coolest thing ever, but it really was kind of like elementary. But I mean, it was cool. It was a good opportunity and I felt like it just allowed me to kind of learn how to use Photoshop in a different means, I guess. So that was my first logo. I remember doing that. And I also remember having class in college where we had to redesign a brand and present it to a bunch of people, and that was really cool too. So I remember redesigning Lululemon. I wanted to design it more so for elderly people, and that was really cool. Looking back, I think I I've always kind of had an eye for design, and I just wasn't confident in it yet. So I remember though, senior year of college, there was these men that came into our classroom to give a little presentation, and they talked about how they wanted to hire somebody or have an intern to help them run their marketing agency. And I was just about to graduate college, so I was like, I'm gonna apply to them because I don't know what I'm doing after college yet. I applied, got the job, and it was a great opportunity, but it was also very strange. Looking back, I remember I started off as a project manager there. It was just super unorganized. I mean, I was one girl amongst so many guys. Like, it was intimidating, and I also just wasn't confident yet. I just didn't know my skills yet. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I do remember though, being at that job, knowing I liked design and knowing I liked nutrition and all these things. I was all over the place, but they did have a project that required some design work. So I worked on it, and I remember the guys being around the computer, and they saw me designing, and they were like, that's it, you're gonna do the designs for us moving forward. And that's when I really tapped into designing for clients, and I loved it. I really did love it, but I still had the idea in the back of my head about nutrition. Never went away. So anyway, I was working at this job for about a year and a half, and then unfortunately they went under. But I kind of saw it coming because they were just super unorganized. No one really got along, and I don't know, it was just too crazy. So I wasn't surprised, but I did get a little nervous because I suddenly went to being unemployed. And so I panicked, and I ended up searching the web, and I found Upwork. And if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that Upwork was something I utilized for a really long time to get my clients. And I would apply to so many jobs every day, and I got so many clients from Upwork. But I was charging literally like nothing. I was charging maybe like $40 to $100 for a logo, and it just wasn't a lot, but I just wanted something, right? I wanted to get experience, and I just wanted, I don't know, to do something, have a purpose, I guess. So I was doing that, but I actually ended up going and getting my personal training license, and I started to kind of do that as well. And I didn't really feel like it was a good fit for me. I tried out to work for Orange Theory. That didn't work. It was a complete flop. Is actually one of my most embarrassing stories. It didn't work, so I kept going down the design path, and I just wasn't making enough money. So I ended up working at a corporate company. I got a job there, and as some of you probably can agree with me, I cannot sit at a cubicle from 9 to 5 and design. Like, there's no way. So quickly realized that I am not meant to be the 9 to 5 worker. It just is not working for me. I was not happy. I had great people around me, and I met so many amazing people, but I just wasn't tapping into like my skill set still. I remember I had at one point my laptop open with Upwork and my clients while working at the corporate job. I was balancing the two, and I was just like trying to figure out how to really be successful. And I just wanted to enjoy what I was doing, and I wanted to get out of the corporate world, to be honest. I just did not like it. So I ended up getting a job, or I got a call from my dad's good friend to work for him, and he was an entrepreneur, and he really wanted me to just manage his websites, work from home, and it was perfect timing, perfect opportunity. I remember for a long time feeling like I was just lucky to get that opportunity, and looking back though, I do think it was a little bit of luck, but I remember doing a few projects for him previously and doing my absolute best because I knew he could turn into a longer term client or a longer term job. So I really did my best every time he reached out, and I think that's what helped me get this job. So I ended up getting that job, left the other one, and I was working from home, living my best life, but I was really just trying to like navigate managing these clients I had from Upwork while working full time for someone else, and it was a lot. And I did it for 3 years. I did it for 3 years where I did both, and I even at one point was personal training during the mix of that. So I don't know how I did it. It was a lot. I had really long days, long nights, but I learned so much. I met so many people, and I guess I really just want to share this with you all because I said yes to so many opportunities, and that's what got me to where I am right now. If I didn't say yes to everything, I would probably still be kind of like trying to figure out if I can even have my own business. But I know there comes a point in your business where you have to learn how to say no, and you have to really set boundaries for yourself. But in the beginning, it's so totally normal for us all to just be figuring it out and saying yes and taking on those opportunities. So that's my story of how I got to where I am. And I remember though, I have one last piece of the story because this is really what kickstarted this business of mine. But it was when I was about ready to leave working for my dad's friend. I just wasn't really happy anymore. I felt stagnant. I wasn't even really designing half the time. I was just project managing once again. I was kind of ready to leave, and I was dabbling with the idea of either taking my business full time or maybe trying out one more opportunity. So I applied to another job locally in town, and they needed a website manager, and it was an amazing group of people. Like, I really fell in love with the work environment, and it was great until near the end of the interview process when I started to see some red flags about just the way it could have been working there. It was family run. It just, I don't know, there just was some red flags about it. So I really listened to those red flags, and I really just had to tap into like what I really want and what I really want to do, what I'm going to feel happiest doing when I wake up in the morning, because it was at that point in my life, and this was last year, when I just needed to feel happy again. Like, I wanted to feel like empowered by my work and just like I have a purpose. And I had so many ideas that working for someone else just felt like a little bit of a step back. So I actually ended up getting an offer letter from them, and I turned it down. Well, I said yes at first, and then a week later I said, I'm sorry, I can't do this. I'm not interested. And that didn't really go over super well. So I figured I kind of burned that bridge, but I was so happy I did what I wanted to do. But a week later, I got a call from that company to design their website just under my business. So I quickly had to sign up for an LLC, get my business bank account, get everything set up, took this huge client on that was like the biggest paid client I've ever had. And it was like the first step into my business. And it was like so exciting, but a very, very stressful client, very, very stressful. And it was kind of sucky because it was like my first few months into running my own business, and it was like starting off with a really difficult client. But I'm so grateful for that. Like, I'm just grateful for every step I've gone through, as hard as it might have been or as difficult as the decisions were. I am where I am now, and I'm just loving what I do. I'm passionate about what I do, and I love talking with you all in this community. And yeah, I really wanted to share that because I think it's easy to just see someone maybe succeeding right now, but we all have our own journey. We all have our own story. We all have to go through our own steps to get to where we need to be. And my biggest takeaways though, because I want you to walk away from like something rather than just me talking about what I've been doing. My number one tip is when you're just starting out, to say yes to as much as you possibly can, even if it's not as much as you want to be getting paid. Just say yes, because it's going to open up doors and avenues for other opportunities and word of mouth and social proof and all of that. So the more I said yes, the more success came to me. And then also another thing that really helped me was listening to myself and what I really wanted to do, because I feel like during that time I had a lot of people telling me, you know, take that job, it's a great opportunity. They offered me a great amount. But I mean, you are the only one who has your vision. So you have to tap into that and listen to that. Right. So cheers to that. That was a lot of talking, but I just wanted to thank you guys so much for sticking around. If you listened to my story, I really hope it inspired you or made you feel like a little less stressed, because I know when you're starting off, it can be a little bit scary figuring out how to get clients or where to start or if you should be running a business. So I wanted to share that with you all because there's so many ways to get clients, which I actually have a course coming out really soon about that. So definitely join my email list so you know when that course is launched. But I just want to stress to you that we all have our own journeys, and to not worry about where you are versus someone else, because it can be so easy to compare, but it takes a lot of work to get to where you want to be. And I mean, looking back when I was at the corporate place, having my laptop open with multiple jobs and doing what I had to do to get to here was so worth it. So I really hope that inspired you or motivated you, but let me know your journey. I would love to hear like where you guys are at, if you're just starting off, if maybe you're running your business. I'd love to hear it. Like I really want to connect with you all. So let me know down below. But if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more from me, I would love it so much if you gave it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and I really hope you stick around for more. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.
Caught behind Venetian blinds, out of reach for the city lights. This ain't where I belong.